Welcome to Bhagavad-Gita as it is. We are on the introduction of Bhagavad-Gita as it is at the moment. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girin. Kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Deenatarinam Paramahandamadhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhuvevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah. So we were reading yesterday the 5 topics which are covered in the Bhagavad Gita as it is: Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Time and Karma. The Supreme Conscious Ishwar is similar to the living entity in this way. Both the consciousness of the Lord and that of the living entity are transcendental. It is not that consciousness is generated by association of matter. That is a mistaken idea. The theory that consciousness develops under certain circumstances of material combination is not accepted in Bhagavad Gita. Consciousness may be pervertedly reflected by the covering of material circumstances, just as light reflected through colored glass may appear to be a certain color. But the consciousness of the Lord is not materially affected. Is not affected. Lord Krishna says, Maya Dhyakshena Prakritihi, when he descends into the material universe, his consciousness is not materially affected. If he were so affected, he would be unfit to speak on the transcendental matters as he does in the Bhagavad Gita. One cannot say anything about the transcendental world without being free from materially contaminated consciousness. So the Lord is not materially contaminated. Our consciousness at the present moment, however, is materially contaminated. The Bhagavad Gita teaches that we have to purify this materially contaminated consciousness. In pure consciousness, our actions will be dovetailed to the will of Ishwar, and that will make us happy. It is not that we have to cease all our activities. Rather, our activities are to be purified, and purified activities are called bhakti. So if somebody asks you what is bhakti, bhakti is the purified activities, and that's all. Activities in bhakti appear to be like ordinary activities, but they are not contaminated. An ignorant person may see that a devotee is acting or working like an ordinary man, but such a person with poor fund of knowledge does not know that the activities of the devotee or the Lord are not contaminated by impure consciousness or matter. They are transcendental to the 3 modes of material nature. We should know, however, that at this point our consciousness is contaminated. When we are materially contaminated, we are called conditioned. False consciousness is exhibited under the impression that I am the product of material nature. This is called false ego. One who is absorbed in the thought of bodily conceptions cannot understand his situation. Bhagavad Gita was spoken to liberate one from the bodily conception of life, and Arjun put himself in this position in order to receive this information from the Lord. One must become free from the bodily conception of Lord. That is the preliminary activity for the transcendentalist. One who wants to become free, who wants to become liberated, must first of all learn that he is not this material body. Mukti or liberation means freedom from material consciousness. In the Srimad Bhagavatam also the definition of liberation is given. Muktir hitvanyatha rupam swarupena vyavasthiti. Mukti means liberation from the contaminated consciousness of this material world and situation in pure consciousness. All the instructions of Bhagavad-Gita are intended to awaken this pure consciousness, and therefore we find at the last stage of Gita's instruction that Krishna is asking Arjun whether he is now in purified consciousness. Purified consciousness means acting in accordance with the instructions of the Lord. This is the whole sum and substance of purified consciousness. Consciousness is already there because we are part and parcel of the Lord, but for us there is the affinity of being affected by the inferior modes. But the Lord, being the Supreme, is never affected. That is the difference between the Supreme Lord and the small individual souls. What is this consciousness? This consciousness is I am. Then what I am, what am I? In the contaminated consciousness, I am means I am the Lord of all I survey, I am the enjoyer. The world revolves because every living being thinks that he is the Lord and creator of this material world. Material consciousness has two psychic divisions. One is that I am the creator, and the other is that I am the enjoyer. But actually the Supreme Lord is both the creator and the enjoyer, and the living entity, being part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, is neither the creator nor the enjoyer but the cooperator. He is the created and the enjoyed. For instance, a particular machine cooperates with the whole machine. A part of the body cooperates with the whole body. The hands, the legs, the eyes, and so on are all parts of the body, but they are not actually the enjoyers. The stomach is the enjoyer. The legs moves, the hands supply food, the teeth chew, and all parts of the body are engaged in satisfying the stomach because the stomach is the principal factor that nourishes the body's organization. Therefore, everything is given to the stomach. One nourishes the tree by watering its roots, and one nourishes the body by feeding the stomach. For if the body is to be kept in healthy state, then the parts of the body must cooperate to feed the stomach. Similarly, the Supreme Lord is the enjoyer and the creator, and we as subordinate living beings are meant to cooperate to satisfy him. This cooperation will actually help us, just as food taken by the stomach will help all other parts of the body. If the fingers of the hand think that they should take the food themselves instead of giving it to the stomach, then they will be frustrated. The central figure of creation and of enjoyment is the Supreme Lord, and the living entities are cooperators. By cooperation they enjoy. The relation is also like that of the master and the servant. If the master is fully satisfied, then the servant is satisfied. Similarly, the Supreme Lord should be satisfied. Although the tendency to become the creator and the tendency to enjoy the material world are there also in the living entities, because these tendencies are there in the Supreme Lord, who has created the manifested cosmic world. We shall therefore in this Bhagavad-Gita see that the complete whole is comprised of Supreme Controller, the controlled living entities, the cosmic manifestation, eternal time, and karma or activities. And all of these are explained in this text. All of these taken completely form the complete whole, and the complete whole is called the Supreme Absolute Truth. The complete whole and the complete absolute truth are the complete personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. All manifestations are due to his different energies. He is the complete whole. It is also explained in the Gita that impersonal Brahman is also subordinate to the complete supreme person, Brahmano hi pratisthaham. Brahman is more explicitly explained in the Brahma Sutra to be like the rays of the sunshine. The impersonal Brahman is the sun, is the shining rays of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Impersonal Brahman is incomplete realization of the Absolute Truth, and so also is the conception of Paramatma. In the 15th chapter, it shall be seen that Supreme Personality of Godhead, Purushottam, is above both impersonal Brahman and the partial realization of Paramatma. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is called Satchid Anand Vigraha. This Brahma Samhita begins in this way: Ishwaraha Paramaha Krishna Satchidanand Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karan Karanam. Govinda, Krishna, is the cause of all causes. He is the primal cause, and he is the very form of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. Impersonal Brahman realization is the realization of his Sat, that is the eternity feature. Paramatma realization is the realization of Satchit, that is the eternal knowledge. But realization of the personality of Godhead Krishna is realization of all the transcendental features Sat, Chit, and Anand, eternity, knowledge, and bliss, in the complete Vigraha, which is the form. People with less intelligence consider the Supreme Truth to be impersonal, but he is a transcendental person, and this is confirmed in all Vedic literatures. Nityo Nityanam Chetananam Katupnishad 2nd Canto, 2nd chapter, 13th verse. As we are all individually living beings and have our individuality, the Supreme Absolute Truth is also in the ultimate issue a person, and realization of the personality of Godhead is realization of all of the transcendental features in this complete form. The complete whole is not formless. If he is formless, or if he is less than any other thing, then he cannot be the complete whole. The complete whole must have everything within our experience and beyond our experience, otherwise it cannot be complete. The complete whole personality of Godhead has immense potencies. Parasaya Shakti Vividhaiva Shruyate, how Krishna is acting in different potencies, is also explained in Bhagavad-Gita. This phenomenal world or material world in which we are placed is also complete in itself, because the 24 elements of which this material universe is a temporary manifestation according to the Sankhya philosophy, are completely adjusted to produce complete resources which are necessary for the maintenance and subsistence of this universe. There is nothing extraneous, nor is there anything needed. This manifestation has its own time fixed by the energy of the Supreme Whole, and when its time is complete, these temporary manifestations will be annihilated by the complete arrangement of the complete. There is complete facility for the small complete units, namely the living entities, to realize the complete, and all sorts of incompleteness are experienced due to incomplete knowledge of the complete. So Bhagavad-Gita contains the complete knowledge of the Vedic wisdom. All Vedic knowledge is infallible, and Hindus accept Vedic knowledge to be complete and infallible. For example, cow dung is the stool of an animal, and according to Smriti or Vedic injunction, if one touches the stool of an animal, he has to take a bath to purify himself. But the Vedic scriptures say that the cow dung is considered to be purifying agent. One might consider this to be contradictory, but it is accepted because it is Vedic injunction, and indeed by accepting this, one will not commit a mistake. Subsequently, it has been proved by the modern science that cow dung contains all antiseptic properties. So Vedic knowledge is complete because it is above all doubts and mistakes, and Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all Vedic knowledge. Vedic knowledge is not a question of research. Our research work is imperfect because we are researching things with imperfect senses. We have to accept perfect knowledge which comes down, as is stated in Bhagavad Gita, by the parampara or the disciplic succession. We have to receive knowledge from the proper source in disciplic succession, beginning with the Supreme Spiritual Master, the Lord Himself, and handed down to a succession of spiritual masters. Arjun, the student who took the lessons from Lord Krishna, accepts everything that he says without contradicting him. One is not allowed to accept one portion of Bhagavad Gita and not another. No, we must accept Bhagavad Gita without interpretation, without deletion, and without our own whimsical participation in the matter. The Gita should be taken as the most perfect presentation of Vedic knowledge. Vedic knowledge is received from transcendental sources, and the first words are spoken by the Lord Himself. The words spoken by the Lord are called Apurushaya, meaning that they are different from the words spoken by a person of this mundane world who is infected with 4 defects. 4 defects are a mundaner or a person of this world is sure to commit mistakes. Second, he is invariably illusion. Third, he has the tendency to cheat others. Fourth, he is limited by imperfect senses. With these 4 imperfections, one cannot deliver perfect information of all-pervading knowledge. So we'll continue from here on Monday. And it's been explained again and again that by understanding the Lord only we will get out of this material world, and it is very difficult at the same time for us to understand Lord because our senses are imperfect and we like to enjoy ourselves all the time. We like to live in sense gratification, and for bhakti we have to rise above mode of goodness. We have to think about, we have to actually live our lives so that they are there's in a way circling around Lord. All our activities are towards the Lord. Whatever we are doing, we are what should I say, we are just offering all our activities to God. Then only we can say that we are in the mode of bhakti. The modes of nature, they don't make our life easy. We are in and out of the bhakti from day to day, but still we can try. That's only we have got in our little independent free will. That is only going to take us out of this material world. So let's keep trying. That's all we can do, and we shall meet again on Monday. Thank you, Narayan Keshav Prabhu, for joining me. Hare Krishna.